Thank you for coming. Even though there's not a lot of us here, but I want to introduce you to the Wholinit Healing Artz, and I'm Scott Sheldon, and I'm the owner of Wholinit Healing Artz. We have a lot of different new exciting things that we have here, a lot of different type of practitioners that we have working here. And really what this center is about, it's about whole health. You can ask, what is whole health? Why do we need whole health? And how do we achieve whole health? And we really have some real issues that we have in society nowadays with environmental things, nutritional aspects that are happening to our body. And what we do here is we offer solutions for these aspects. I wanted to go into a little bit of what I went through, how I got here, and how I've picked up all the different type of stuff that I found from all my different type of doctors. I was a real sick child. I had just a number of issues from a very small age. I really did not have the best of health, a lot of infections, a lot of emotional, a lot of estrogen issues, a lot of hormonal type of things. And what had really happened to me, and we've really changed what my parents are doing at their store right now, but what had happened to me was that I had essentially poisoned myself with what we were using at the store. You know, most of you know my parents own a landscape nursery across the street, and when we had started, we used all sorts of herbicides, pesticides, and chemicals, and things that we just were not supposed to be using. And Karen, you know we don't use them now.
No,
you know.
we're organic now.
Yeah. So really what had happened was I was there from a very young age, and I would always play around with pesticide sheds. I would always play around the back area and that sort of a thing. And it just kind of started to take its toll on my body. I started puberty at the age of 5. I've pretty much been this tall since 5th grade. And I really have learned a lot about how to achieve whole body health from what I've done. And I see some things that are in the health field and in our medical field right now that we really do need to correct. And if we do not, we are really kind of headed for a disaster in our health system if it's not already. So what this center is for is we're here to offer people holistic health solutions that are easy, simple, and effective to affect all different levels of the body. I believe there are 4 different levels of the body. I believe there is what's called the conscious body, the soul body, that's the information about the person, the soul, the lifestyle, the environment. It's essentially the information about who you are, genealogy, everything that is saved in the etherics of your body. And then also we are working with energetic levels as well here too. So things like acupuncture and frequency therapies, things along those lines, things to stimulate the energy and help to rebalance the energy. And then also we work with the physical components. So I'm going to get into what had happened to me and why apparently I'm here and what I learned. So like I said, I was really, I had a really hard time when I was a kid. Lots of ear infections, lots of ADD. The doctors tried to shove all different types of drugs down my throat so that I could calm down in school and everything like that. And it really kind of took a backlash. But regardless of that, I had gone and seen doctors my entire life. I mean, I had everything from gynecomastia to lumps in my back to everything that you could really think of. But what had really happened younger was, like I said, I had started puberty very, very, very young. So puberty was really hard. It was not an easy road, and for a lot of us right now, it's not. I know that there's a lot of kids out there that are having some real issues with what is happening environmentally to our bodies, not only physically, emotionally, spiritually, and soul-based. And so eventually after a while, I had always thought that there was something going on inside my body. And at the time when we are using these things, we have no idea what we're using, exactly what we're putting into our bodies and how it is affecting us. So it really, these things really started to take their tolls in about, I'd say, freshman year of high school. And I was just miserable. I couldn't think. It was almost like my consciousness was just really suppressed. And it eventually got to the point to where I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what. So I decided to go to college up to the National Academy of Sports Medicine up in Phoenix. And while I was up there, I had a pain start on the inside of my right knee. And when I graduated from there, I had moved out to Hawaii and said that I wanted to do my personal training out in Hawaii, and it happened to not turn out right there. But what had happened while I was there was I noticed I couldn't walk around, and so it was very hard. It hurt, and it just I didn't know what was going on. So I came back to the United States, and right after that, lo and behold, I run into what would later be my future wife, now ex-wife. And that relationship kind of finished me off with my emotions. And it started off great, but what had happened was the stress of that relationship really took its toll on my spirit, and it burdened me to the core. By the time we had separated, I could barely walk anymore. And at that time I had, I'd say, about 3.5 pages worth of symptoms, things that I don't really want to mention, things that I can't remember, things I have written down that are really, they bring back some things. But what had happened was I started to go to all different types of doctors. I started to go to Western medical doctors, because at the time I had no idea what holistic health was. I knew about acupuncture, I knew about a little bit about colonics. I didn't know exactly what it did. And they ran all the tests for me, every single test you could think of. I was burned by an MRI. I had all the blood tests. They threw drugs at me and everything like that. And all the drugs did was make my pain that much worse. And what this pain, sorry about this, what eventually started to happen was my knees started to feel like they had little torches on them. And it started in both knees, spread to both shoulders, arms, and then the hip was the final joint. And by that time, I didn't want to live. There was complete darkness in my world, and I was at the complete end of my world. So I was going to my doctors, and finally I found cold laser therapy. And I went into my endocrinologist and I asked about cold laser therapy, and he says, yes, I have a chiropractor, and sent me to this chiropractor, and he just happened to be a naturopath that had taken over. So I go into his office, and this naturopath, this natural health doctor,